Hello and welcome to the next episode of this series, which is this Lego room and of course my life. Now this is part of a mini series that I've just created inside the disaster series, because this really is a series that just keeps on giving with regards to nothing going right. But a quick catch up of what we did in what is technically the first part, which is actually just rendering currently on the laptop, which has been done in the same day because it's a bank holiday weekend, which means I get tomorrow off, so I can mess around up here for today and tomorrow, which is happy days with that. So we are doing some bits and pieces. Basically we're going to be merging in this section all around here as a bit of a Lego Movie 2 Easter egg. So we have got the Lego Movie 2 set up here. This will be propped up, I now do believe, on the spiral based roller coaster from the Harry Potter stuff, hence why the Harry Potter stuff is then wrapped around the bank. And then we're going to have to figure out what modular we want at the front just here to be part of the queue line. This is going to be the structure. We're going to have two modulars there, two modulars there, and then two big ones as a strip with the pet shop behind it. Now I have had to turn them in on themselves so you can actually see through. These two I think work very clean. These I think they're all right, and we've just created basically an alleyway behind the cinema. I did put this one and this one back to back and it blocked that view off, and it actually cut off quite a bit, because it's quite surprising actually how much you lose. I think this is just a little bit taller because it sticks out a little bit, so it's basically making the best of a bad scenario with regards to seeing the stuff that's behind it, which I think is obviously always the point. I think it works well, but at least that way we can rotate basically all four modulars about. But that, as it stands, is the basic structure. This can be raised up, potentially raised up there, or we can raise something up there. There's lots of stuff we can do, but we can still pull some modulars out. So the focus point for today is moving on to the superhero section under almost like the Marvel banner. So we have got, on this side, we have got the tower, we've got some modulars I want to add in, we've got the diner that's going to go by the Bugle, we've got that down there, which is going to be the Punisher and Daredevil sort of display that we're going to be making up. But I want to get that out from high definition because it's hiding at the back, and I purposely staggered it so you can actually see it from over there, but that's as much as you can see. Now I think it deserves to be brought further forward, so our massive focus point on here is basically to clean this up, get a basic structure in, and then we can swap the modulars between the two sides and just figure out what works the best. But on this side is obviously all of the, bigger roller coasters. So we've got the huge loop coaster on here. So we have got the Hulk and things like that just on there chilling out. So obviously this does work, I think that one works. But I do like the thought of having the tower as part of a street. So what I need to figure out and think of is what we're going to do with the roads. Are we just going to have basically a ring all the way around it? This is going to be quite tricky with regards to space, because these things are huge, and ideally I don't want to move this and I don't want to move that. But I can tell you right now, my original idea of having Avengers Tower, modular fire station, modular Daily Bugle in between the two coasters, which to be honest sounds very good. I am off by half a base plate, so I need to figure out what I can do with that. So potentially this will either have to move or twist around or do something, or I come up with a different plan. So with that being said, let's get to it. Right, is this finally time to tuck into this side? Now there's a lot to move, and I'm just going to be twisting a lot of bits and pieces around to try and make it fit. Because it was the plan was to have a road all the way around it, which was these 16 by 16s, which we're in the process and progress of making up. And that would have looked really smart, and it would have split it all up. So we could still have that as a strip going across the front. So it's just a footpath and a walkway, or we could bring it all the way to the front of the table, like we have over on here. And then behind it is where the road and everything's going to go. So potentially we could flip it the other way round. Now, the first thing that we need to place is obviously the tower, because that tower is stunning. The loop coaster can only go there because of the ceiling height. That cannot be moved, because if I try and spin it around the other way, it won't work. So it would actually it could go where the red one is, but the loop would say loop on that side, because I couldn't turn it around the other way. But then you would see everything and nothing would be covered. So that's something to think about, because if I now push all of that over, it's going to block it. Whereas if I start from behind the loop, it could be completely different. So there is a lot of things to think of, because not only do I want the strip to look nice, do I flip the two coasters about? Does this coaster go in the back corner? And then some smaller buildings go where the loop coaster is. And then we still have the run? Or is it going to look too busy? Because you're going to have to walk all the way around to here to be able to then see the loop, and you're only going to see it from the back, really. Like, because I never really look at it from here, and that's what that I think looks great from there, but you're never going to see it from over there. So we're going to start off with the tower and just see if we can get this tower placed. Now the Doctor Strange is, I think, it's just going to end up wherever it ends up, and we're going to see if we can make it work or not, because this tower, with regards to the ceiling height, it can't go any further back than where it is, because you can see it literally touching the ceiling because it is so big. So we can bring it all the way forwards if we wanted to, and then we could just put a little thing in front of it. But obviously doing that, you then cover the queue line, it blocks it all in, but you could just have a little strip going all the way down. Opens up that potentially. You could spin it round. The second you spin it round, that takes away the idea then of a nice strip. So that looks nice and effective with those two facing inwards like that, because you've got the nice tall bit of the loop, because don't forget the rest of the track is really low. So as long as we can still see the tallness of the loop, I think you can get some nice photos of that. But I just don't think that's going to be the best way, because you're not going to be able to get the Daily Bugle in. But with that being said, if I was to do the same thing on the Daily Bugle and we had two streets going down, so we had something tall, small, spun the Daily Bugle around in line, tall, small, that might be the only way to do it. So for example, told you there's going to be a lot of moving around, there's going to be a lot of no, yes, definitely not, might work. But basically does that. So we have two bits like that, and you know what I've just done? I have just stepped back onto the Doctor Strange. That's what I've just done. I put the Doctor Strange just on the floor and I've just stepped on it. What a moron I am. So yes, there's things like that that we can do, because we do get it from a different perspective. That's never going to be found again, but I just don't know if it'll work. I don't know if it will give us the idea of what we want. But you could have something tall and a modular. The Ghostbuster Firehouse would then fit in the middle facing forward, and then you've got the two streets either side. So I don't know whether to go for this option first, because this isn't even on my radar, to be honest, until I just spun that one round. But that is the only way I'm going to get the two tall buildings in. With the loop behind it, you've got the three bits of height. I don't really, because here we could mark it off with, let's just for fun, this is now just, none of this is planned, I'm not gonna lie, I just wanted a long strip, and I would rather mess around with this and move the coaster last and see if this looks nice. If it doesn't, then there is a backup plan, which is going to be even more moving. And you know what happens when things get moved, things get smashed quite a lot. So we can potentially have what looks nice. The book. So the bookshop with the tree, I think looks clean. And I think that is a 16 by 16, so that could start things off. And that's going to be the problem straight away, because you spin it around and then some of these are going to have to move. So Loki's thing, well, it's in the way. Whereas on the other side, it's not. So you have got pins on both sides where you can do the bits and pieces, but I do like that Loki thing there. So that isn't going to work. I mean, we could stagger it. I could just be lazy and just have it like that. It's just flying through the building. Let's do that for now, because I'd rather do that than take it all off. Then the next modular is going to be 2 more to fit in. So the Ghostbuster Firehouse is going to have to move as well first, and that's got to move anyway. This thing is absolutely massive. Massive is an understatement. It is an absolute huge monstrosity of a set, and it is beautiful, and it shouldn't be hidden at the back. Now, I don't know if I could spin that round and have it as the street facing in. I don't know. Do I actually have it as part of the display? Like that. That's the kind of street you can get. I didn't want it that close together, so I wanted a modular in between. Now, you know I'm covering the loop coaster straight away, which is not the nicest of things, but if I pulled that one out... Oh no, smash and crash. That is the Quinjet, everybody. Quinjet down. That's always going to happen, isn't it? There's always something going to happen. I'm rushing it, that's why. Yes, not gone well. So let's not put anything else. Let's not put anything else on the floor. Let's just keep dropping you. Let's not damage the camera either. Right. So that is 1, that is 2. So these are the Spidey townhouses, really, if you're going to stay with that bit, because it has got Aunt May on. So that's clear. That's broken. Fantastic. That's that. That's that. Good. And that is that, which is absolutely outstanding. No, basically. That isn't going to work. I pulled that over to there, and just move that over. No, so it's the wrong modular, but I'm just doing it for spacing. I don't think that is going to work. Because that looks much better, like that. Much better with regards to it being on the street, because that I think was just too tall. And then this, ideally, obviously, that is not going to work like that. I think it's backwards, but I've built it once the opposite way already, so that's not going to work like that. It would have worked if it was facing forward and it had another modular after it, and then it had this. But that's the strip, and no, I am not feeling that whatsoever. The tower looks nice, and it looks nice with the diner. And obviously we've created all this stuff, but the second we start putting other stuff in front of it, I think it's just going to block everything. So they're so tall, and I just don't have the ceiling height. I think I might just have to swallow my pride and not be able to do certain things, which is a little bit of a shame. I'm assuming that goes back like that, so that goes back there, and that is the front. Simple as that. Minifigures in this are fantastic. Now obviously, like I said, there is the X-Men Mansion to think of. We've got the Haunted House stuff to think of. This does fit across the back, but if it goes across the back, that's going to happen. It's going to get completely blocked off. So let's try and rectify this issue to start with. What do we have by the Daily Bugle? Could we have the Ghostbusters Firehouse beside the Daily Bugle? Would that work? Could that be our 4? And the diner goes the opposite side, and then we create another street, maybe. Oh. Loki. What am I doing? Loki's just taking a tumble. Right, bookshop. That can move. So you've got the Doctor, again, keep forgetting about the Doctor Strange that's on the floor, because it was actually in a really nice location the first time. So that is down. So let's rectify this nonsense, shall we? So this is coming forward. That just needs to be repaired. That is actually facing the wrong way around. I've got the light. I got the light the wrong way, because I think I did that just to save space. Right, this diner is filthy. Avengers Tower, forward facing. You need 16 by 16 in front. So that is as far forward of the table as it will go, if need be. Now, that goes over there. That goes on the other side. That does not work. Does it work or not? I don't think it does. This really is harder than I thought it was going to be, and I thought that was going to be the hard side, and that took about an hour and a half. So this could take a while, so bear with me. But that clearly does not work whatsoever. So potentially what we could then do is maybe have a double street. So if I can't get all of these in a long line, but I still want it on show, if this got pushed back, so that went back to there, for example, and all the others went in a line, how much would we be able to see? So if I now create the line that I wanted to create in the first place, and then I just have to pull the modular back out, I think, because if this could go back a little bit further back, and I could just basically waste a little bit of space, which isn't the end of the world. It's just, if I'm doing this now, I think I'm going to lose the Doctor Strange, which is not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to hide that either, because this was going to be at the either end of the height. The diner was going to be inside the Daily Bugle, like it was before. But we are getting another modular in, so I need half a base plate more of space, I think. I think I am going to be hitting a brick wall no matter how I do this. I've got a very funny feeling. That's why I had to step everything last time, because I just don't think it's going to work. Let's bring all of this forward. I know it's an absolute disaster over here. So squish all of that over. So I just want to squeeze one of these in. There you go. Right, that is a run. Now we can get them lined up. Now the good thing about having the height at either end is then it allows us, this is the plan mine now, this is what I am making up as we go along, is we've got the bridge, so then we should be able to see stuff behind it. But you're not going to see much behind there, and the problem is you're not going to see much behind there. The only thing, I just don't know. The only thing I can do is if I got the Daily Bugle really close, and if we could get like 8 studs and had a walkway between these two buildings, the first thing you walked into was the Ghostbuster Firehouse. But this is what I mean about it being awkward now, because if we want something in front here, just to break it up, so like our road and things, we've then got the same again and the same again. If, if this came all the way forward, I don't know if it'd just be feel too tight. I don't know. It looks nice, that. I think that does look smart. You've got this little weird gap just there. And then we've got a bigger gap on this side, so I could potentially open this up in the middle. I think that might be the better way to do it. But again, this is not going to be helping with the strange. But if that went there, we've got this gap straight away. So if I can get some form of gap over on this side just to open it up a bit, then we might, he says, be able to do some bits and pieces, because I need to remember X-Mansion and Doctor Strange, but the Strange doesn't necessarily have to be too close. Because I could get this all the way over, and then we could see everything potentially from the middle. This really is starting to give me a headache already. Really thought this would be easy side, but that's wide enough for a car. So that already is wide enough for a car, so I could push that over ever so, bring it all into the middle. These boxes aren't helping at all. This is all in the way because it's the Ninjago stuff, which I can't put anywhere else. It needs to go on that table underneath, and I can't do that. So I'm struggling to reach things as well, which isn't helpful. But this is the other issue, like the little things are in the corner that you guys and girls probably didn't even know that were there. You just couldn't see before. So if this, say for example, had the Ghostbuster car, and this went to here, do we bring this all the way forward, which I can't even do, like that, or is that just too close and horrible? It needs space. I think it's probably going to need space. This is going to take quite a bit of fiddling around, which I was not mentally prepared for, nor do I have any snacks. So that is what I'm going to grab. I'm going to grab myself some snacks and then just get my head tucked into this, because I can't figure out how I can get that modular in and that Ghostbuster Firehouse in. Now the modular can come back over, or the modular just goes into a different place and the smaller ones stay there, but I don't particularly want to do that because that's just going to look far too crowded. Even though it's supposed to be a theme park city, that does make sense, that does work there, but this is where all the main coasters are. And there are other bits and pieces on the way with regards to what LEGO are going to be releasing. So I don't want to waste a load of table space, but then at the same time, I just don't know if that is the best way to do it. I'm going to grab some snacks, find somewhere to put all these minifigures. I'm going to put them back in a bag somewhere, because they're all the minifigures I've done shorts with. Spread it out a little bit better, see if I can get the first run done, so we know what it's like for height. Then I can pull the two middle modulars out of the way so I can reach, and then we'll basically have to work back to front with regards to space, leaving space for Strange. X-Men Mansion, 2 base plates, I think we're going to leave for that. And then just basically figure out and go from there. Brain fuel has been bought, and I will be nibbling that as we go. Now I have got a little bit of an idea, because with regards to the Doctor Strange, I don't want it to be hidden. I might as well just put it in front like I did before, which means I need to push these as far back as they will go. But how far back do you think they will go? So I have got a little bit of an idea with regards to a different layout. So if that goes to there, that is all the way back. Now that is definitely a base plate. You've definitely got a base plate of space. I have moved, taken the minifigures off as well, so, but that is just over a base plate of space, so that is fine. So that is good. So we can mess around by either going forward or backwards, or just to basically there, depending on what we want to do. But if we go as far back as we can just for now, that takes us to there. So that's as far back as we can go. Right, next one, with regards to that, if I put you up here again, I want to have a bit of a chop and change, because I'm not liking the layout. But I think if I did this, did that, and then did that, that is absolutely spot on. There we go, that's what we want. So now we have a very nice clean strip. We could have another big building there, which I think the Ghostbusters Firehouse would work there. I think. Which would then mean this would then spin round across the back. It's not something I really wanted to do, but I'm not too sure how else we can do it, because I can't get it in there. The only other way it could potentially go is there. It faces forward. But again, I'm not 100% sure if that's going to work, because we've lost some bits and pieces in that corner. So obviously we're going to have to make up something within that corner. We can now see this a little bit better, and we can see the entrance a little bit better as well. So I think that looks nice with regards to that, and I think it's better pushed back. So I think if they're really close to the table, it's to the edge of the table, I think it's a bit, it won't work with trying to get the smaller modulars behind. So do I now move the coaster, put the coaster across the back, and then put the townhouses off it as a strip? We have two straight lines. The Ghostbuster Firehouse then comes to the edge. Because this thing is so big, I don't know if we can get two base plates. I think we might get two base plates because it's so wide. Can we get two base plates? These are stuck. These are still stuck together from before. Yeah, we can. We can get two base plates of something. So we could go Ghostbuster Firehouse and something else as one very long strip if the roller coaster wasn't there. If the roller coaster then spun around and went behind, it would be tall, shorter, Ghostbuster Firehouse being tall, and then something a little bit shorter, or we leave space for the X-Men Mansion. That still doesn't solve the Ghostbuster Firehouse issue. But the Ghostbuster Firehouse could come off here. It could come facing forward, so it doesn't necessarily have to go in a straight line if this coaster moved. Or the coaster stays where it is. We just have that as the road, that gets pushed off. We give that a little bit more breathing space over, because now Loki will fit back up and over the top of the ride. Obviously the ride, everything works, so that all works as it is, but we could bring it over a little bit. So I either commit now and move the coaster or not. But before I move the coaster, I want to get the Doctor Strange thing back up and on and just see what is going on with this. So what can I do with it? Now, I've got a bit of a problem with the clip at the moment. It's refusing to behave, so you're going to end up falling over a few times, I think, but tough. So I had it like that before. I think it was there. Which is definitely not what I want. No. Am I just being really dumb? Yes, I think I am. So we could have that like that. Don't think we're going to be able to get any. I don't know what units we can put here though. So I like the strip. I just don't know if that's covering the coaster too much. Because I don't know if we could just put it like 32 studs away. So it was like that, and then we just had a little bit of a dio in front. That I could live with. Because now seeing the front of it, and then we've got the eyeball hanging over, and then we can see the back over that side. So actually it's exactly how it was, apart from you can actually see the eye. But because it's skinnier, it takes up less. I think it takes up less space that way. If I put it like that, I think it casts as too. Yeah, it's just too overpowering for the building behind. You can't actually see the building behind. Whereas if it's spun round like that, that looks fine. You've got a very, very nice view and a very, very nice strip of stuff. I can just either kiss these together. So if we wanted to, it could be like that. And it's a very, very nice, just a very nice clean strip. Do the same thing with this. God, it's so heavy. Like that. Bring that one forward ever so slightly. Bring that one forward. And that is a gap for display. And then you've just got a nice little walkway there. Potentially, if I could get a smaller, if I could get a modular that wasn't very high, or a smaller set to go in front of here, we could put something there as well. But everything I've got is shelved. Like the Ferris wheel, for example, could go there. The little Ferris wheel that could just come up in front because it's obviously supposed to be a theme park. But I quite like that. I think that kind of works as a strip with the loop coaster behind it. A bit of a display going on. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that working. Just going to be struggling with the stuff at the back. So the stuff at the back, it's going to have to be something big, and it's going to have to be that, isn't it? Do we think we could have it there? In the most annoying place, right in the far corner. We could have the two coasters as an L, and then we can have the strip, and then we can have the haunted house this end. And that's our drop tower. Do we think I can actually move this over without breaking it? Now to do that, I've got to move everything again. But I think it might be the only option. I think. I'm going to have a very, very quick think. Eat into some of this chocolate. And crack on, I think. So the more I look at that, the more I actually like it, to be honest, which is always a good thing because I wasn't too sure, but stood here now, being able to see the front of it, it looks great. You can see the eyeball, and then I think maybe a full base plate for display. I could actually push it back by half a base plate and step the 2, maybe. So it would be like that, which we see more of that one, and then when you come around to the other side, it's not going to block anything off whatsoever. So that could work as well. So yes, anywhere on there I think is good, and then we can just make a smaller display behind it of something. We'll figure out what we're going to do with that, but no, that does work quite well actually. So yes, happy days. I think it only works so well because the corner is set so far back. If it was quite tight, I think it'd look a little bit claustrophobic, but it gives, well, it's a footpath, isn't it? That's exactly what it's supposed to be doing. So now I have got the fun and games of what's going to go over sort of these 2.5 base plates from the front. But no, from here, I think that works quite nicely. You can see all the bits and pieces. I said it was, where was it? It was a full, was there. That's where it was. Oh, I don't really think it makes too much of a difference, does it? We'll go there. We'll go in between the two, and then yeah, we'll go from that way. I can see the door, I can see that bit. You've got the cut through onto the back. You've got the little bit on that bit. You can get through. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. But I'm doing all of that. I do need to get the Ghostbusters Firehouse out of the way to slide this around. Now I know there's going to be a potential for misery, so I don't think that will fit. But if we put it all into this corner, we've got the Loop Avengers theme coaster right next to, I guess, the Spidey coaster. And then off that, we could have the new space coaster. Or this one just spins around and we see it from here. And the smaller space one goes to the back. And we make a bit more of a bigger diorama with this. Still get the Ghostbusters Firehouse over here, I think, and then it just leaves the haunted house. There is quite a lot of space out. I don't know if the haunted house would hit the roof, which is a shame. It won't go. It's just off because you can see it's the prong is touching the roof and it's bent up at the top. If I push that all the way towards that way, it would hit the track, which is a little bit of a shame. Right. This is where I am a bit confused with regards to the best way to move stuff. But we will give it a go. So we know that works okay, that works okay, this is fine. So that will come up onto here. Ting, clang, clang. Don't want that to happen. Right, I'm flagging a little bit now, making silly mistakes. We want a Ghostbuster to the front. Can't push that any further back. This is a tough game of just give me a little bit of more ceiling height. That's all I want. It might go through, it might not. Right, we're through. Don't know how that managed to get there, but it did. Yeah, definitely doesn't work into Daily Bugle, but with a gap, I think it would look quite smart. And we could have an option, because we could just create our own internal street with that. Doing all of this, and I just hope that I'm not going to regret it. And it's going to be too blocky here. Because the other, I could just move it completely and not move the coaster. It could go on that table. Would Dungeons and Dragons and Ghostbusters work? Would it work? No, I don't think it will. Don't think it will. So I will put the coaster, this red coaster will go through. So you have the big height and you'll see it. Bits of it's going to be blocked off. But I think when that's moved and it gives us a little bit less height, we'll be able to see through. Then the new space coaster would work with the X-Men, I think. So I could put that coaster by the new X-Men house and then still put Bumblebee and Prime with it. It's a bit of a push, I know, but I think that could work. But yeah, when this gets moved back, we've got the nice bit of a walkthrough. You've got cut through for this building, so you can actually get through. The problem as I got now is I can't physically reach those two sets in the corner, and those are the small ones that really actually now need to come in front of these, so they can actually go in this table, and they'll just be in proportion because they are completely lost there. But I think if I pull this out, what have I just dropped? Brilliant. Yeah, so if I can spin this one round off the coaster, I think we would be able to get some of the townhouses in. Just don't know where the coaster's going to end up, and let's get that haunted house out, I think. It's those noises that never sound good because they ping, and when it pings, if you ever find them again. Right, hat is off. Caught on that, brilliant. We can add in the smaller stuff, I think, after. Am I going to regret this? I think I might regret it. As it stands, I can reach to use this. Not that I am using it, but... Can I swing this round? I guarantee I can't. Is it so big? The game is on now. Can I get this round? I'm stuck on the haunted... Oh, that's gone. Stuck on the haunted house. This needs to move forward. This is the problem with this being a base plate and a half. Oh. Oh, come on. Right, we're away. Now this is the thing of... Does it look lost? It's such a big thing. So I know for a fact that if the space stuff goes behind there, I think that's going to look lost. I think. Because we'll start off with this one. This could be its new home. It could go in the corner, like so, if need be. So we can go side on, so we've got the bits and pieces on there, and then we can have the car just coming out, or of course it would fit that way, and we line the back of this up with the back of that, because we're back a full base plate, so we basically have half a base plate of space like so, and it would go there. It just sticks out in front. Which way do we have it? Do we have it facing forwards? Do we have it facing inwards? Obviously it'll come that way when the diner is back in its place. It's just with the coaster, I just don't know if sacrificing the coaster is worth gaining the Ghostbuster Firehouse for. Can we still see it? That's the thing. Right, how far can we push this over? I told you it's going to be a long-winded process. It's definitely turning into that way because I am struggling to not stand on anything, crush anything. I can't reach anything, so I've done it all backwards to how I normally do. See, everything's pinging off everything I touch. That's strange for a 10-ball. I just don't. God. The Daily Bugle is that big, it makes that coaster tiny. Got to be careful at where I'm standing as well. So, if I just push this out the way. The problem with the tables not being together because everything's now falling through that gap. So I'm losing popcorn pieces and all sorts. So this really is turning into one of those moves now where I'm not enjoying this as much at the moment. So if that went there, like so, does that work? And if it does, we've got a space for another something. Just don't know what we would put there. And then the coaster gets positioned into a place that we can see. Because like I said, I can't really move, but as it is right now, we can't see it. But it does fill that gap. just don't know if it looks like it's just been thrown in there. But the problem's going to be is if that can't be seen there, the X-Men Mansion's not going to be seen there, nor is the new Space Coaster either. It's just because these are so big. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I am properly confused, because we could obviously push this back so it's flush, which might look better. Probably does look better, to be honest. And then we just have another something here, or we could go 2 modulars and then something there, because like I said, we've got to get some of those out the way. So we just use this bookshop, because that's on the floor, so we can get that up. We could just box that in with the bookshop. That is what that is looking like at the moment. Feels to me that I need another modular there, and this goes over. I don't think that haunted house isn't going to work. That is not going to work there, but we can't really go anywhere else. So if the haunted house went like that, we lose all the space behind it. I think I've lost a lot of space doing this. That was not the intention, if I am honest. I am stumped, absolutely stumped. Because no matter what goes behind there, it's going to get lost. So what can I do? I can't put it to the edge. It's not like I can go 3 base plates in and have like the Avengers just mimic the strip down the length of the table, because we haven't got the ceiling height. I'm going to pause, headbutt a table, I think, and figure out exactly what I can do. So I've just quickly moved the coaster over. I need to turn the camera from the 2 ends, and that looks so much better. So that is the photos that you're going to take if it stays as a strip. So I'm happy from here over at the moment. So we've got all these nice bits and pieces just here. It's starting to come together. Now I've got to get into that corner. How I'm going to do that, I have no idea. I'm not climbing on the table, because if you didn't realise, I've fallen through these before and smashed everything that's on it. Hence why we're still in the process of moving everything around. But I think that is probably the best place for the coaster. Obviously, it's a bit of a shame that I now can't reach to use it, but the piece is just down at the front. But it does take up a huge amount of space. Now, the only thing I can think of in that corner over there is the carousel. That also takes up quite a big bit of space. You're not going to see it massively, but you're going to, when you sort of kind of see the top, you're going to know what it is. But there is a endgame battle there, and there's like the fresh shop there, and they're just not going to live there. They're just not going to work. But I think this strip works okay, so I just don't know how to get over there. Right, we are away again. Now that's definitely going to move. I think I've got a bit of an idea now. So that's going to be pulled out, and I'll keep the 3 townhouses sizes together. Now they'll either go behind here, because that is a bit of theming for Spidey. I think we will be able to get the hat back on. I say the hat, you know what I mean, the big battle. So that should go there. Still can't quite figure out how to grab those 2 units in the corner, but that will be done up within this upload. I think I'll be able just to move that box, jump over that box, miss the lights, and then reach round. Should have moved them first. Bit of a schoolboy error. But if we did this and just moved that to there, I think we've got an option with something like that. I don't know if they look silly side by side, or if we could get away with having the Ghostbuster Firehouse beside the haunted house, or if the haunted house just needs to go somewhere completely different and we do just put a modular there. But that is what it looks like with the space taken up, which I think looks a lot cleaner than this individual building. And I just don't think it might. The two townhouses might work. Potentially. But I just don't know if I put the townhouses in, so if this was pushed, it's just, this is the problem I've got. Because of the ceiling height, I can't get this past this, because of the roof. So I'm going to have to bring this ever so slightly forward. Now you're just going to pretend it's in a straight line. I just don't know if it would be better all the way to the end, and then that, for example, being like that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of that, so I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% sure. What's going on with that lens? What's that? Hang on. You're going to get a live clean. I can't be bothered to turn the camera off again, so something's gone wrong. There you go, colour coming through again. So yeah, I don't think that works. So I think it's going to have to be something this side. But what it's going to be this side, I'm not 100% sure. Now we have got a little bit of a battle going on with bits and pieces, as you can see. I shouldn't have done that yet. But if that comes off, that does not want to come off. That needs to stay on there. Stay. That then goes back. I can then push that back into a line. I will then just have to re-put the one-way system lights back onto this side, and then figure out exactly what goes there, because I don't think that works. Right, I think I have a plan. This is a long-winded way around it, but what I'm going to do is get the D&D set on this corner, because I think that's going to look very, very smart. But first off, I'm going to have to make a little bit of space. I think that haunted house is going to look nice in the corner, or on this corner just here, because I think if it'll fit, we might be able to get the D&D set, then the Stranger Things just behind it, then the haunted house just on there. We've got like a little haunted corner, and then we can move the Jurassic Park and stuff over there later on, and then the carousel, that's where the games will begin. So we'll try and get the carousel over in that corner and then get those two pulled out. So I might give myself a break and do that tomorrow, because I rush now, I'm going to end up smashing everything, but I want to get this corner finished now and then see exactly what is what. So what we are going to do in the game that we are going to play is let's just move everything over again, which is great. So that will go over there, that will go over to here, because I do want to get this basically good to go, which would be nice if we could. So that would be fantastic. That's the Doctor Strange. So just found the Doctor Strange cube. Nowhere near where it was. It's on the floor, and I didn't even, that must have been when I kicked it before. So that cube, I can go on there, so that's safe and sound. Right. Okay, so we want that moved, that moved. This is where it's going to get a little bit tricky, because I'm going to have to push this down and move it after, because as I had literally just been told, the Stranger Things and the D&D Easter egg, so they can be close together. That with that. That there. Shift that down. Shift that. See, this carousel is a right pain. It is so big. I think I'm going to literally pick this up and just hope nothing else falls off it. It is so badly, oh no, it's so badly damaged that it needs really a proper base rebuild. I say I'm going to get round to it, and I never ever do. So I'm on the walk with this. So far so good. And no drama. So we are happy. We are happy with that. So that's fantastic. Right, what is this going to look like on this corner just here? I think we could just bring that. It's either going to face forward or it's going to face in. One or the other. Probably going to have to face in, I would imagine, like that. So that will go like so. All of these will have to get out of the way because when the D&D set arrives, I'm not going to be able to get my hand through. So that is there. You go there. Stranger Things as an Easter egg, and funny enough, I have actually already got the Ghostbuster. Some of the Ghostbuster team has been on this for months. So I've got, this is fully complete, beautiful looking thing. Obviously you can spin it around and have the normal one, but I've always had it as the blue because I think it's nicer with the blue roof than it is with the green. And we've got the cool trees and everything, so that is a really nice little set, but that can just be there. So if you know it's there, you know it's there. If you don't know it's there, well you don't know it's there, because I'm now going to put the D&D set in front. That'll go behind. Car goes with it, so the car can just be parked underneath there. And yes, the D&D set is a huge theme park piece. Already thinking about what and where these townhouses are going to go. I can already see a problem. Already see a problem. I think if you just go there, we'll hope for the best. Hope for the best. Right, we have got an owl, a mouse. See, this is going to get tight so quick. Can I move them back anymore? Probably not. Carousel is not in a nice place. The chest. My chest has all of the spare accessories in, and I've got the heads all stockpiled up over here. This is the big eyeball. All fully complete. We can start making some nice displays. It says fully complete, the piece has just fallen off. But yeah, we can start trying to make up some make up some displays in this upload, or if not, the next. Don't want to do that. Do not want to do that. That is there for now. That's a random minifigure. For D&D. There's a lot to this D&D set. So I do need to step in a little bit because I'm not really... This could go so badly wrong. I wasn't going to do this right now, but I think it's the best time to do it. Which is silly. This dragon is enormous. I don't really think people understand how big this dragon actually is, but let's hope I've not just put that in the wrong place, but I have. This does unclip, so if it's nice, it will be ideal. Come on. Unclip for me, please. Right. That is part number 1. Part number 2. Let me just get the flag out of the way. Should just come straight out from there. I've just ripped that off, and I don't even know what that's from, so that's not ideal. Assuming It's the vase. I don't know when that happened. I don't know when it happened, and I'm eating a flag at the moment, so if you can't hear me clearly, it's because I have a Lego piece in my mouth. Do not copy me. Yeah, I should like triple check what that bit's from. I don't sound sure, to be honest. Yeah, confused. It's got to go somewhere around here, but where it's supposed to go. My little brain cannot figure it out. That's annoying. And then the next piece is all the way over there. So let me grab the third piece. That is that bit. I think that's some other flags that have fallen off it. Yes, it is. Now, I have just had a very, very, very horrible thought that this is going to be bigger than one base plate. That's the tree that's just fallen off. The big question is, will it actually fit? I've just moved it all, I don't know if it's going to fit. That's annoying. That is annoying. Alright. One huge dragon, that is definitely in the way. Normally I say to myself, I can make a mess and it will get better, but I've got a bad feeling. It's just going to get messier and messier in this one. Right, let's put you here, get you really close to the D&D. Yes, you can see all the different cubes and stuff. And then I've got to figure out, well, how this goes. It's got to be part of that. I just can't remember where it goes. It is 3 parts. You got your purple bit, which prongs into this bit just here. Am I being thick? I think I am. I think I got that the wrong way round. Yes, I do. Hang on, move you. In that round like so. Get that back on. This is going to be tight. That goes in there. You don't believe me? Watch the introduction credits on D&D, because my mind was blown with regards to that. Ooh. Then turns round and goes in that way. Like so. Yeah. Didn't think of that, did I? Did not think it's going to be too... Oh, it's turned into one of those uploads. Too big for that. Now, one of the flags go up there, one of the other flags go the other way. You can see the Stranger Things behind it. I'm going to turn the camera off quick, repair it, because I do not want to damage this. Get the dragon back on it. Potentially the dragon can actually live on top of the Ghostbusters Firehouse, because it's huge. If I can line it up, this will have to be pushed over. That gets pushed back a little bit. I just need the back of this corner on that corner. That shimmies over. Might tuck behind it. We might be able to get all three in a straight line. Don't particularly want to do that, but it might work. Could spin it. That's possibly the better way of doing it, saying it out loud. I could potentially have it, I need both ends, but I think I could just spin it round so the front of it is side on. I don't think it's going to make a difference whatsoever because it's going to be a corner. So yeah, spin it that way or spin it in. Right, need two ends and I'll share the results with you in a sec. Right, so it has been repaired. The bit on the back actually was this bit that wraps around. So that was a bit weird, so never really paid attention to that before, but it had the surround, it fell off, found it in the book, fair enough. The tree's back on, it looks a little bit sorry for itself, so I'm assuming I just need to spin those branches back around, but I will give it a little bit of TLC because that is what I'm going to do on the next uploads, because this is obviously taking forever. What I'm going to do is add in all of the vehicles to the shadow box and all of the other vehicles in there, and all of these sort of decorative pieces to here on the next upload. So there'll be quick repairs. You're basically me running around like a head of chickens, a time lapse, just doing that, because that's going to take me forever to do. And in that time lapse as well, I will try and get the carousel in. But yes, with regards to space with this side on, that is what it looks like side on. Now it looks a little bit weird without the dragon, I think. Now I haven't yet had a bit of a mess around with it, but the dragon is obviously massive, massive, massive. Now it is missing, annoyingly, a bit of blue. So I've got to figure out where that is, because it could, it might work. It would work like that, but the problem is on some of these sets, you've got these bits that stick out at the back. And that's really annoying. So if I was to take that bit off and flush it over, I think that's probably the best place for it, to be honest. If I took it off and just stored it in the back, because that is a really annoying piece, because it is just unnecessary. To be fair, let's be honest, if I can just make it as a straight line, push that over, we've got this nice little corner, it won't be overhanging so much. But yes, there's a bit here that is, well, it didn't fall off when I moved it. I have no idea where it is, so that needs to be found desperately. It must have fallen off in another move around, but I can't really get to that area properly. So when we get the carousel in and we start to tidy up the floor, I'll have a look. I'll have a look for that. But you can see the space that we still got on this corner, which then means we can make a diorama in front of D&D, diorama in front of this. We can have a Spidey thing just in there. That's obviously the ride from the park. Bit of theming for that. It's quite nice that we have got the two Spider-Man sets. I say Spider-Man sets, the diner and the Daily Bugle with the coaster, so we can add in all the villains on the back on that, and I think that does look quite smart, like it. And then yes, we've got like this haunted corner, so that tower either stays like that, or we shape everything up, move everything about and we bring it in. But doing something like that, I just don't think, it just looks like it's been dumped there. So I think maybe the best thing to do is bring this back to the front, just there, have that nice and close to the D&D, so it's all magical horror. And this, I think that's the best way to do it. So if I could pull this forward, have the Stranger Things behind it, then have that behind it again, it would, because that's wasted space, that's tiny, and that's very tall. Because obviously, ideally, the roof didn't slant, I would have had the tallest to biggest, but I've got this. This is such a headache. Can I get them in a straight line? If this bit didn't overhang as much, I'd be happy with that. Now, we know that fits. Right, that's going to block it, isn't it? Because if that got pushed back, so if that went back, so it was on the corner just there, which works, would this fit just here. Do not break. Do not come off. Do not come off. Do not come off. Did that work? Like that. No. That's the answer to that. Because it's so big. You can see it. I mean, those two work well together. Those two close together do work well. This needs to be behind it. But I can't bring this any further forward, really. What can I do with this? It can't be this complicated. But again, on a positive, like what I will be doing is adding in all of these details just on here and just basically tarting and tidying everything up. We are starting to make a dent. It just feels like we're also going backwards at the same time, which is not exactly what I wanted to do and had planned. Do like that with Stranger Things though. Just don't know what can go here. That's horror related. That's smaller. Like the He-Man castle. I could potentially bring that over as a horror castle, but clutching at straws a little bit on there. I don't know, because that works as is, but I do not need 32 stud space of a display. Now, I don't think the Stranger Things will work in front of the D&D. I could try it, but I think it's better it being behind, just because you've got all that space with it. So something has to go here. Or that goes there. Again, if I do this and bring this forward and try and get it as a trio. If I did that, I just don't think it's going to look right. So you've got that into that, and then that goes behind, and it's just going to hit the roof, I think. The only way it could work if it got spun in on itself, I think. There's a lot of thinking going on here, which is far too painful, because this set is very, very nice. Will it fit behind? It does fit behind. See, that works like that, because you've got the top of that. So you've got basically two lands, and you've got the Spidey finishing into the haunted bit. So you've got the top, and then as you come round, you'll be able to see all of the front, which is going to be nothing really covering that as such. So maybe that is the best place for it, having it side on, because that was roughly how it was before. And then how can we make this look like it's not going to fall off the table? We've kind of created our own land doing it like that. So that is, the dragon goes on top. Stranger Things, you get underneath that, and you've got the haunted house just there. The haunted house works there, not going to lie, it does look okay. It's just I'm not too sure if the Stranger Things now works that way. I think it's got more visual impact if it got spun round. Like that, and then that got pushed back to there, because that's probably the best place for it. That's there. That looks okay. If you were designing a theme park, maybe. I'm going to sleep on that, I think. I'm going to sleep on this corner because I don't know what I can put here. Because that orange dragon is massive, so obviously that'll go on the corner. I could have just a bigger diorama. Obviously you could have something like this, which just looks stupid in front of it. It'll fit. Have that side on there, because it's technically... That doesn't look bad there. Doesn't look daft, does it? So it is obviously supposed to be a theme park, and pretty sure it's one of these that are close to that in the opening scene. And then we can have all of the monsters and things sort of walking around this. Then you've got the Ghostbuster car at the front. Just depends on if I can get the carousel in. That's what it's going to come down to, if I can get that carousel in over there. Which I am going to try and do, I think, in a completely different upload, because we've been going on another good hour and a bit, I think. I don't know how much of this footage is actually going to be usable. So yes, I think we're going to have a third part, which will be a big tidy on a time lapse, and then get the carousel in. But I wasn't going to do the D&D, I was going to do that in a separate upload. So that's why, again, I'm thrown with this. But with the coaster being wrapped around in there and all tucked in, don't think that's a problem. And then those two side by side, that is not a problem at all. That's what you would expect at a theme park. Just if the Strange Things looks a little bit weird, but I don't think it does. I think those two look okay. And when the dragon goes on there and it fills the space out a little bit, it will just be, look through the wings and you can see the Stranger Things thing. And then that will give us 3/4 of a table for something. So we've gained 3/4 of a table somehow. And I know exactly what I'm thinking. I have not put, oh dear, the townhouses in. That is the problem. I have not put the townhouses in. And I've got three units I need to find a home for. That has not gone well. Ah, he says. Right, well that was a very higgledy-piggledy upload. I do apologise massively in advance, but this is basically the story of my life. This has been a nightmare, but hopefully tomorrow I can just crack on. I've got to get the townhouses in, the carousel in. Depending on how long that takes, then there might be the fourth part of just making it neat and tidy. Then I want to get across to the back, then I want to get underneath, then I need to clear the floor. Sensational. All while, like this little bit I need to put in, this does not stay on for love or money. This is really annoying, so the mouth always falls off the dragon, so I want to figure out if it's just a damaged bit or if I can just make that a little bit stronger. But I think we're gonna have to stop. So basically none of that's been touched in the hour. Well, I've been up here hours. You've only been on for an hour. I did quite a lot off camera and then put it back again because it just looks so bad. Worst case, we lose the townhouses in the corner. Not I want to just randomly throw modulars away, but we could put a townhouse here. We could do something with them. I think we can make the townhouses work, but we'll do that on a separate upload because this is just going on and on and on and on. And then in that upload, we've got to get that on. What we've got to do next upload would be that, home. Pretend that doesn't exist because that's going to be a completely different area. That located, dragon in, and then basically hope for the best. So yes, that is it, and I am done at last. So guys, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I'd be amazed if you're still watching, because this has been a right pig to get all of this together. But I think we've got a good base now to crack on with, and I think the second a little bit of road goes down just in front of here, just to add in, and then the Ghostbuster car comes out, I think we're going to start adding those nice layers in. I think it's going to look very, very clean and very, very nice. But until then, it looks like an absolute disaster, like it always does. I didn't even turn the light off. I can't end it there because it's going to annoy me that much. Now, I think I know where they can go. I think. So I'm going to go straight in, and we are going to finish the video on something positive. So what I want to do is I want to get just some road down. I know it's the wrong colour. The yellow will be over on the other table, so I'll just swap that over on the tidy upload, but that is what that is. Now I wonder what this would look like, stepped and staggered. I think we will be in for quite a surprise. I think this would look lovely in front of the Doctor Strange because they have a nice little battle there. So that's 2. That'll be 3. Thank you very much indeed. Get in there. And that is that. That looks fine to me. I think I'm happy with that. We've got the side on with the back garden, so you can again just see through. Loads of space to see the little dioramas that we can do on the road, so that's all right. And then obviously we can get all the bits and pieces in on there. If I wanted to park the car up, for example, there, well, you can see it. You can see it no problem, can't you? And then you stand to this side, and then you've got just the front of the houses. So that looks nice. I can get another one in, or I can get another something in. Pet shop would be the other thing if I needed, and this is where what should have happened in this upload, what happened in the next one, is I can now start, if I need to, chop and change the modulars. It fills the space up though, so if they ever do another half pair, I could easily get another one in, but for now I could just have a little theme parky corner or do something on there. And then obviously with the road plate, for example, you can go up there. So these and this one, that's just a stupid thing to do, isn't it? Let's be honest, it's just silly. So yeah, that's basically that. That is in line with that bit, and that is the road. Get it in yellow, and we've just got a little strip, and that's just an extended path. I just put the little hoppers and stuff in there, fill it with minifigures, and now we can put bits and pieces on top of here. I can get the D&D thing sorted. We can wrap around the corner, I think, and just go from there. But I think visually that looks quite nice, because if you think about it, I guess the Strange is technically a house, and then you've got a townhouse, and a bookshop. So they're all the same sort of architecture. I think that does look quite effective. So I think after all that messing around in tier 4 experience, I think that's all right. But I am going to have to wrap it up because the time is now getting on. So we will attack all the other little bits and pieces in the next upload, with that being the head, the carousel, the dragon, and loads of other little bits and pieces as well. So I actually need to charge all the batteries up now, ready for tomorrow. And I've got to get some other editing done for the other channel. So it's all nice and busy. But one more look at what this looks like. Let us know in the comment section below what you think. Are you happy with this? And I've just got to think about the haunted house. I could potentially pull it out and put it around the other way. Side on, I think it looks okay. I think if we can just maybe close that gap off, and I just take the last bit off like I said I was going to, I think that might make it look a little bit cleaner, because it'd be a little bit closer and it creates sort of like a little path around. I have got the hidden size graveyard that I can build up and put in there as well. Potentially put in maybe a cabin or something down there and just make it a little bit more haunty based. But no, as a thing, I think with those townhouses now, I think that does look quite effective. But guys, that is it. And I am done for this upload. I will carry on myself first thing in the morning because I can, which is fantastic. And then you guys have to wait for that upload to be uploaded. So if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll catch you next one. Ta-da.